Welcome back to this QSF 2 2025. We're live here from the Khalifa International Tennis and Squash Complex in Qatar. And we're into the final match of this bronze level PSA Squash Tour event. It's the number 1 versus the number 2 in an all Egyptian affair between Tarek Momin and Kareem Abdelgawad. I'm Stephen Hurst, and joining me in the studio is Louis Roberts of Wales. How are we?
Good, thanks, Steve. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. I'm looking forward to this match. You?
I am. It's going to be a blinder.
A blinder. You've heard it here first. It's going to be a blinder. And it's lining up to be that because these two players, when they're on form, are some of the best. You'll see some of the best squash on court today, so I'm looking forward to this one. As I said, it's the number 1 and number 2, so it's all gone to seedings correctly. We talk a lot about how Tarek Momin is very comfortable on this court. He's won his single world championship title here in Qatar on this very court, and he's won a plethora of other QSF events over the years, so he's very comfortable. And there's some of the stats there. Highest world ranking there, 3. World ranking of 6. We mentioned some of the other stats there, that he's been in the top 10 for around 8 years. And about 15 years he's been in the top 20, so he's incredibly consistent. One of the veterans on tour. He's 37 years of age. It was actually his birthday over the weekend, so if he can win this, it'll be a nice bonus. And his opponent today, Kareem Abdelgawad, also of Egypt. He's been as high as number 1 in the world. He had that meteoric rise back in the 2016-2017 when he won the World Championships. Again, he's a veteran of the tour, turned pro in 2008 when he was very young, and he's had a phenomenal win rate of 68.5% out of 515 matches in total. I'm going to ask you the predictions. We didn't ask yesterday, but I'm going to ask you today. Who's winning this match and what's the score?
Well, I think we spoke a little bit about it before. You seem to think you're on side with Gawad today.
You can't use me. You have to give your own prediction.
I just think on this court, this is going to be a really big opportunity for Momin, and we said and saw yesterday how comfortable he is on here, so I want it to be 3-2. I want the most out of the match. I want to see them play, 70 minutes plus.
Wow.
So I'm gonna go Momin. I'm gonna go 3-2.
3-2. Okay. I tend to give really bad predictions when it comes to these, so I'm going to go the opposite, and I'm going to say Gawad is going to win in 4. So let's find out what happens here. Either way, it's going to be an impressive match. I think we're going to see a lot of shots taken in, aggressively attacking. We saw yesterday Tarek Momin, he had to play very well against a dangerous player in Declan James, but he almost took him out straight away in that first game, didn't he, with just a quick fire barrage of short shots, didn't he?
Yeah, he really was explosive yesterday and was really utilising the short game, a lot of power generating, making Deck really have to crouch down to the floor.
Crouch down to the floor, yeah, he did. I mean, with that height, he has to get into those positions, quite difficult. And then in the other semi-final, Kareem Abdelgawad it was a pretty messy match between Fares Dasuki. A lot of decisions, a lot of stoppages, even some conduct strokes. But it was Gawad that kept his cool, kept his mental strength on, and he's looking really good.
What are the heads with these guys?
We're looking at 10-3 for Gawad. So heavily in his favour. He's won the last 3 matches, so that will give him a lot of confidence going into this match. But equally, Tarek Momin doesn't tend to lose too much on this court. He's very comfortable, like we said, on here, very free flowing. So we could be on for a cracker. Here we go. Gawad kicks off this final match of this QSF 2 2025. Well, straight away it's fast and furious. Well, is that a sign of what's to come for this match in that rally?
Let's hope so.
Let's hope so, yeah.
For my predictions.
I mean, straight away we saw the boasts being used right off the bat here from Gawad. And Tarek again being very attacking, taking it in short when he can. This cold court really does reward the player that's most confident to take it in short. I think that's a good decision there for me. I think there's enough room on that front wall to go across, just a safety let there.
Yeah, I agree.
Tarek's really trying to hunt that T line, trying to cut off the ball, really put the pressure on his opponent.
Really holds the ball up at the front there.
Yeah, it was a great adaptation from Gawad there to turn that defence into an attack.
I noticed in the warm-up, Gawad took the backhand side, optionally.
Alright, okay.
Do you have any preference in your warm-up?
No, not really, no. I think my stronger side is backhand, so I'd always tend to go that side too, to be fair. But as we said yesterday, Tarek Momin's backhand volley drops were working so well right through this tournament, especially in the semi-finals yesterday. So he's clearly sharpening.
It's a really strong point for Momin, isn't it?
It is.
Backhand drop.
We're going to see that a lot here in this final, I think. I think he took the wrong line in the first place for me, so I think it actually was the right call.
Yeah, I agree. Well, central referee there, making his point clear from the very start of this match. He wants free-flowing, clean squash. This is a good response here from the number 2 seed. That sort of interaction there does break up the rhythm a little bit for Momin. I think off the bat of yesterday, the ref's really not going to be allowing for much communication between the players and the ref today.
No, definitely. It's all about the new directives of WSO. Trying to keep that discussion to a minimum. It's difficult though, you have to have some discussion, don't you, between player and referee to explain your case, but it does get to a point where you just want to get the decision and move on. Well, Tarek Momin is flabbergasted by that decision, and I don't blame him. I think that shot was pretty tight to the side wall there, and I think that's a little bit generous to get that let. What are your thoughts? You're looking not so in agreement.
Yeah, I'm not sure on the let there. I don't think there was a lot of effort to get the ball back.
You do find that on this court especially, it's the person who finds that weight of stroke, that width as well, down the backhand side and the forehand side, that's going to get the real reward. And if you can't find that, you know, that accuracy, you can really get punished from short shots against your opponent.
Goward just demonstrated it perfectly there as well.
I mean, that was not too bad. That was really nice from the Gawad there.
A few more of them.
A few more of them would be right up Gawad Street.
That would be your coaching advice.
Yep, just keep doing that. He's taking it in well now, Gawad. It's good work there from the number 2 seed. He's forcing his opponent to try and make those difficult shots, those high risk shots. And he's found himself 5 points clear in this first game. Definitely feels like he's controlling that mid-court area, isn't he?
Yeah. It's all about Gawad at the
Oh,
moment.
he's read it well. Beautiful shot there from Gawad.
Alarm bells need to be ringing for Moment here that the accuracy of his length is not enough, and the width on these shots needs to be far wider.
Well, it's about containing, isn't it? You've got to restrict your opponent. You hit accurate shots, not necessarily to win the point, but it's to take away the chances from your opponent.
You can see both players really want to push up onto the tee. That's why some of these errors are coming through, maybe a little bit forced, but they don't want to be moving to that back of the court too much.
No, it's a real danger area. This is good work. The trouble as well is when you play those short shots at that front, it really does drop like a stone. It's so cold on those front.
Yeah.
So it's a tricky one for the decision there to give that as a lep. Do you think Moman just needs to get a little bit more psyched up here in this game?
Definitely. I think, as you can see there, the length just wasn't coming to the back then, and it means that Gawad can just stay in front a little bit. Puts a lot of pressure then on Moment when he's going short. So I would really be focusing on getting that length first and the accuracy in the back, so then he's got more time on the short shots. Really punish Gawad.
Yeah, we saw him against Declan, didn't he? He created those opportunities that he put those amazing shots in. He's incredibly dangerous when he's got time on the ball, but Gawad is doing a very good job here of restricting his opponent. Oh, it's a lovely shot. Lovely shot from Gawad. He gets into such a good position there to take that short into the front left. He's found himself with 7 game balls to take this first. And that serve was punished. Straight into the cross-court nick. 6 game balls left here for Gawad to play with.
It's a ripper.
That's a ripper. The boast works so well if you take it in right. It really runs away from your opponent. Great start here for the number 2 seed. He takes the first game. Definitely felt like Moman was, I know it was only 2 or 3 points, but he looked the more positive, he looked the more confident, and then there was that interaction with the referee, and then suddenly the momentum changed back to Gawad, and he tightened up, got his accuracy right there. And you can see 10 minutes, fairly long duration given the score line, but it's a great start here for the number 2 seed. Gawad leads 11-4, first game of this final.
We will resume in 60 seconds. We will resume in 30 seconds.
Ideal start here for the number 2 seed. Very important psychologically to take the first game in a final match as well, especially being the underdog. Can't really call him an underdog though, he's been world champion, world number 1.
Yeah, not sure if underdog would be the best description for Gawad.
No, not quite. I think we're going to have to see a big push onto that T line for Tarek Momin. He needs to cut off the loose shots more from Gawad. Oh, he's read it so well. What a shot. And that's the first sign of emotion as well we've seen from Momin. And he's frustrated. But you can't really do much when Gawad is reading the ball like that.
Second occasion that's happened as well, that loose cross court's come in and he's read it so quickly. Cold court, it's a long way to the back of that court to cover it. A little bit of interference.
Nothing intentional there for a moment. But it was nice. That was more of what we've seen in the past couple of matches with Momin, is that taking that early volley drop shot into the front corners.
That drop was a lot more aggressive. He took it in a little bit quicker than some of the other shots he's been playing.
He's really taking things in quickly now.
It's a great get.
You can just see how tough it is to retrieve those short balls on this court.
Better width there.
Oh, he played it. Gawad is controlling this rally now really well. He's not going to have any joy there. He just got knocked off balance, didn't he? But it was not a problem for Gawad.
Unfortunately, I think Gawad was putting so much pressure on Momin that he was just trying to cover the ball, and at that point, you've almost created that interference yourself.
It's interesting as well to compare this match to the way that Gawad played against Dasuki, where he was boasting so much, wasn't he? He was using a lot of angles, and he's not doing that with Momin. And it's partly, I think, because with those angles, if you don't hit them right, if you don't make them punishing, Momin will just destroy you with his speed and his rapid power. So he's actually trying to do a lot more of a restricting game plan here. Trying to aim for accuracy down those back corners.
Introduction of a lift. Haven't had a lift come out from the front yet, so we're registering that Goward is covering that ball when it's coming out, so give himself a little bit more time to get back to the tee and cover the next shot.
That's also what we saw with Declan James, didn't he? He used that height and he got rewarded against Tarek. So it's a similar position for Moment against Gawad, isn't it? He needs to give himself time. He's reading that so well. He's intercepting those volleys.
It's really nicely taken. I think there was a little bit of interference there, but I don't see that Moment did a lot wrong.
No. Yeah, Moment's going to have to find a way of breaking down that momentum, that almost metronomic pace that Gawad wants to play up and down those side walls. But it's a better start here from Moment overall. He's taking shots in quicker. Really trying to hunt and cut off anything loose in the mid-court areas. Patient stuff down the side wall. Playing a length game here, aren't they? I have to agree with them. I have to agree with the referee there. I think the line was to the right. It was quite obvious there for me.
I agree. It's a loose shot played by Moment. Goward then took the space.
Yeah, it feels like he's getting more frustrated with the positioning of his own movement rather than his opponent's. He's getting drawn into this player. This is accurate stuff here from Gawad. He's controlling that area nicely. Oh, that boast is such a difficult shot to read, isn't it?
Can't be more accurate than that.
And it's all about that racket preparation. He shows that ability to play a straight drive as well as that boast. So hard to read. Oh, that's clever. That's clever adaptation from Tarek Moment.
Well improvised.
A little topspin.
Goward's creeped back in here. We had a 2-point lead and he's slowly isolating that lead
And
with shots like that.
That will help, won't it?
That'll help.
That's the dream. Straight drive, Nick.
Practice them in your solos.
But you can feel like Gawad is the one that still looks more comfortable on court, for me anyway. He looks like he's controlling the rallies a little bit more than Moment. Although Moment's getting those quick points, Gawad is clearly playing a game plan of restricting his opponent as much as he can. You feel like Moment has to really inject an even bigger level of pace to try and even further disrupt Gawad.
easier to say, but any loose shot for Gawad, it's so dangerous because he can really go short anywhere and from any part of the court, especially on that forehand side. Anything that's being left in that service box, it's being punished.
Well, you can see there, even that's a sitter there for Momin usually, isn't it? But he's opting to choose for those high risk shots, and I think that is all stemming from Gawad's building in that first game. It's closing down the court, really keeping his lines nice and tight to the side wall. That's good speed there from Gawad, hunting that down. This is fast paced now. This is a bit more of what Momin wants, isn't it? It's that frantic pace. What do you think there? I think Nolette as well.
I agree. I think Momin held the ball, Gawad came forward, and then he punched it back. Maybe not the best quality of shot, but I think Gawad moving forward then means he's created his own interference a little bit.
Yeah, well, he was well within his rights to take that line, wasn't he, Momin? He played a shot. But again, that's a better rally for Momin. You know, it's fast pace, it's frantic. It's that level that he wants and he thrives in. Again, Gawad is just doing a really good job of resetting rallies when they're getting a little bit frantic. Just changing the pace, varying the height. There's a quick racket preparation from Momin there. He wanted that stroke.
I thought it could have been a stroke.
I think those ones when you turn quickly, it looks a little bit too obvious for the stroke, but
sometimes I think you have to look at the quality of the shot as well. And
I think Nolette is absolutely crazy for me there. That drop shot was a lob.
I wonder if the ref thinks because the drop didn't have that same quality, Gawad could have just gone and played it. He almost had maybe asked a little bit too early.
I'm just shocked.
Trying to rationalise.
Trying to rationalise that one. I mean, the ball was so high.
Honestly, I think that's why. I think they've looked at it and said, you've gone to the player too early. You could have got it.
Well,
I don't necessarily agree.
No. Central referee is definitely putting his foot down in this final. Both players are getting frustrated at the same, well, for different reasons. But again, I still think that Momin's turning too quickly there to get that decision, whereas he could be playing that, taking it in quickly.
The players need to register here that the ref is wanting them to play the ball right.
This is fast-paced stuff, and again, it suits Momin. This is what he wants to be playing at. That's clever. That's really clever. And you can see the frustration there for a moment because he did all the work in that rally, and it was just a loose ball at the front left that gives his opponent far too much time to work his magic.
The cross courts from Moment's backhand to his forehand, they're not wide enough. Goward is cutting them off so quickly, and it's putting a lot of pressure on him then to cover the front, to cover the back, to cover everywhere on the court with so many options from Goward.
Yeah, that with the cross court, just as you said there, it may be overhit, but it's taking away the chances for a Moment to take it in quickly.
Had Moment everywhere there.
He had Moment everywhere. Moment will be very thankful for that tin. Crucial point here in the second game, I feel. 9-7, it's my least favourite scoreline. Far too close to game ball down.
I thought your least favourite was 10-5 up.
What are you trying to say? Bottle job, that's what I am.
You said it, not me.
The intensity of hitting has gone up another level here for a Moment in the past few points.
Was that a let?
I thought it was a stroke.
Sure.
Yeah, I think it's a stroke. So 3 game balls for a Moment to take 1 game back, draw this final to a level.
Moment almost looked either frustrated or relieved then, and I couldn't work out which one.
Well, he looks very relaxed. He naturally is. His personality, the way he plays, is relaxed. But that's a lovely touch. Touch at the top.
Oh wow. How did that stay in?
That was a good rally there from Gowad.
Goward was on that short ball really quick as well. He knew exactly where it was going.
There's an appeal for the pickup.
I think it was fine.
Just tough movement for Gowad, and he's been rewarded for the... I have to say, I know it was all fast and all very quick, but I did think he got it. And you could sense that it was playing on Moment's mind when he was playing. He was tense, he was really trying to force things a little bit.
Really needs to lock in now.
Lock it, he does need to lock in.
Are you locked in?
I'm locked in, I'm at the edge of my seat.
Will he take the game?
He's got 1 chance. That's tight work.
Is that loose cross court?
Well finished from Gowad. It's that pattern of play though, isn't it? It's that slower pace down the backhand side, squeezing his opponent, forcing the chance, and then taking him in short. And you could see that run of points that Moment played to get to the game ball position. It was all about playing at that frantic pace, fast pace, cross courts, taking it in short. So Gowad's done a really good job here of just resetting back to his style of play.
Taking a pause at 10-all as well, then it's sinking with Moment that lead's been lost.
Yeah.
A little bit of psychological play.
Mm-hmm. I think that was the right call.
Agree.
I know he wants the stroke, but it's I just think it's a let for that one. I think there's just enough space.
I I think it was closer to a no-let, and then Moman moved forward a
Yeah.
little bit and just went a bit too close to the swing. He had all the court.
All the court. That's a huge reaction from Moman. It's the first real sign of emotion that we've seen for a few rallies anyway.
I like it. Get
I like
fired
it.
up.
Exactly, same. He is definitely one of those players that really plays better when he gets more into a match like this. Shows a bit more emotion, gets fired up.
A little bit frantic from the front, maybe.
And that's what we saw again in the past few points. Moman steps up that intensity and he does get rewarded.
It's picking those moments to have that intensity. It's so hard to sustain it every single point. That's nice.
That's tough work here for Gawad. Oh, it's well played. And look at that reaction. It's almost as if he's won the tournament. He's just won the second game and he's drawn level.
Really held that well as well. Goward was coming all the way up to the front there.
Well, that was a real fight there from Moman. He was in really tricky positions. Had to really pick his head up after losing those game balls.
Yeah, it was really positive. Really positive turnaround from the first game and a longer game.
I mean, I didn't even realise the time had passed. It's, you know, when you're having fun, time just flies, doesn't it?
It does.
So we're 32 minutes into this final, and it's only 1-all. All to play for here in Qatar.
We will resume in 60 seconds. We will resume in 30 seconds. Seconds.
Well, we're all square here in Qatar. One game apiece. We were just saying, Moman had to really dig deep, didn't he, mentally, to find himself out of that position.
It's a comment warning, listen, and any further comments from either of you will be acknowledged. That's fine. Once I learn my explanation, you can continue. Thank you.
So there's been a conduct, well, it's a warning of a conduct warning for both players for dissent, just trying to keep the match flowing, less interactions with the referee. Very much a continuation of yesterday's matches with this referee, really trying to put a foot down, keep it clean as possible.
Followed by a comment by Moman.
Yeah, just on cue.
Thoughts?
I think it's just a lot. Again, I think the reaction comes after this for every decision, it seems, for both players, if I'm being honest. And it's almost like they're not quite clear on what what direction they need to take going forward to this.
I feel like that was the right line.
Do you just think there's enough interference?
Yeah.
Oh, that's lovely. That's really tidy up there front. That's classic Gawad, isn't it? Taking that in just on the rise of the ball. Takes all the time in the world to get his racket preparation right. Very casual. That's tight work. Tight work for a moment. He wasn't going to have any luck there with the decision there. I think that was too good a shot there from Tarek Moment.
I think he proved that he could play the ball, and the ball was too tight, which is what we want to see. There was no interference between the players there either.
Oh, that's so well adapted from Gawad.
That's a joke.
The ability to turn on the ball like that, although it looks easy with someone like Gawad's style and level of play, but it's such a difficult position to get into and manipulate the racket. Oh, he's got lucky with that. I think that was genuinely just a framer. It hurts. It definitely hurts for a moment, but unfortunately, when you hit the side ball like that, it does just have a very weird trajectory, doesn't it? And it unfortunately lands very close to the front wall.
I don't think there was anything wrong with that.
That was heavy-handed there for a moment in the post. It's interesting as well. Gawad's been very frugal with the way he uses the post in this match, hasn't he? He hasn't used it too often. He doesn't want to make it predictable. And especially on this court, if you hit it right, it can be really lethal. So he's been very patient in his attacking game.
I like that pattern more for Moment though.
That one there?
Yeah, lifting out of the front just gives him time to then play the shot short off of Gawad's return. It's tight.
It's the perfect way to shot. And it all just goes to show that you don't necessarily need to hit completely just a fraction above the tin. It just has to land close to the sidewall to make it very difficult for your opponent.
That's all.
That's all
it takes.
That's all squash is, isn't it? It's simple. Again, I think there's an issue here that Tarek's not necessarily picking up maybe with the referee, is that moving in towards the opponent as opposed to really trying to get around his opponent. And I think there's been a few too many occasions there where the referee now is just saying, no let, you need to make more effort.
I can't understand how we're not registering that cross court from the backhand to the forehand is not wide enough, and that's causing chaos.
Yeah. But it's been a very controlled third game here from Gawad. He's really taken a lot of the high risk stuff away and really again trying to restrict Momin's abilities.
It's a great get.
I don't think he was ready to play that for a stroke for me.
I was impressed that he read it.
Yes, he read it, but it just feels like the ball was travelling a bit too far past him.
Has to be a no-let.
I mean, both players are reacting with shock. To me, the whole front wall was there.
Just
I'm not too sure why he was going for that, because if the simple straight drive down that side, the backhand side, would have been a much more effective choice.
feels contradictory
Yeah.
of what the ref is aiming to get out of this match as well. Just better work from Moment here.
Well, the level's gone up again, hasn't it? The intensity happens. He's hitting everything below that service line. It's better cross courts. You can see Gawad's getting a little bit frustrated. He's getting frustrated about the decisions. He's made a few too many unforced errors in this game. That's tight work. He's not going to get any luck there. It's too good a shot there from Gawad.
It's a great shot.
His
Much
accuracy.
shorter game this as well.
Definitely, and it's not been a ridiculously physical match, I don't think. You know, the second game was the third game was around 20 minutes, wasn't it? Sorry, this is the third game. The second game was around 20 minutes, so it's been a long duration, but physically wise, both these players have still got a lot in the tank.
9-4.
Well, since October 2023, this is just a little fact from one of our PSA experts, but since 2023 October, Moment has been in 5 finals, including this one.
Wow.
Sorry, yeah, that was right to interrupt because that was a hell of a shot. But he's been in 5 finals, and 4 of them have been on this very court. The only other one was in Cleveland in Squash in the Land. So you can say that he favours this court. But he'll need to do something different on this court tonight to try and get past Gawad, because he's playing seriously well and he's reading Moment. So there, Moment is now just requesting a new ball, which he's entitled to do after the third game.
Definitely wants the heat in that ball. Get the pace back up. Gawad's just reading the ball so quickly that anything coming out of that front with speed, he's just reading it straight away. So he'll want that speed to be increased with a harder ball. Less dead.
Well, it was a duplication, really, wasn't it, of the first game? Nearly exactly the same, both in scoreline and duration, but it was also similar in the way it was won. Gawad got that big reach, that 7-2 scoreline difference through really controlled, accurate squash. And the patches where Moment was doing well was that intense pace. But it was Gawad that closed that one out 11-4. He looks a lot more comfortable at the moment. So Moment's going to need to come back in this fourth game with all guns blazing.
They will resume in 60 seconds.
Well, after that short intermission there, just to warm the ball up, it's Gawad that leads 2-1. You were saying earlier there, you think it was important that Moment asked for that new ball, just to add a little bit of life into it, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
And it's paying off straight away because you can see that Moments come in just again at that higher intensity. And if, to be honest with you, it's Gawad that's really throwing it in here, isn't he? He's almost a little bit offset.
Yeah, I noticed in just these first few rallies that when Gawad was taking the ball in short, they were popping up a little bit, so not quite used to the new ball yet. These players are experienced though, so I'm sure if he can just extend the rally out a little bit and just get comfortable with it.
But yeah, he needs to get that accuracy, isn't it? We've talked about it at the start. It has to be. I think that's a no-let as well. And he knows it as well. I think Momin is aware that he took the wrong line. But yeah, Gawad needs to get that accuracy back. Doesn't have to necessarily be hit at 100 miles an hour. It just needs to be tight to the wall.
Looked okay.
It's just impossible for my eyes to see, I'm afraid. But I would, yeah, I thought it was double, if I'm being honest. Yeah, Momin's definitely stepping up the pace again, isn't he?
And you can just see with Gawad's short shots there, and they're not quite as severe as they were in the previous game.
Let's play through the interference. This is tough court work for Gawad. There was a round of applause there. It was a fast and furious rally. Just shows how important making unforced errors at the start of these games is. That can have an effect. I mean, there was 2 or 3 there, just straight up unforced errors from Gawad, and it's created this big gap at this stage. Opportunity here for a moment.
Have to agree. I don't think the shot quality was there, but I just think it's the initial quick asks.
Yep.
There's no effort. There's no effort to play the ball, and the ref has continuously said and stated that he wants these players to be making the effort to play.
No, you're right. I mean, one thing that's for sure is the referee has been consistent in what he's been giving. Do you think he just got stitched up there a little bit, Momin?
A little bit.
Well, court cleaners have been great all week, as always, in every one of these events. All volunteers usually. Still a 3-point lead here for a moment. I think this is another repeat, isn't it, of the previous decisions, especially down the forehand side. It's that initial movement into the player and making it maybe a little bit more than it is.
I think Goward maybe is stepping back after the shot, but
Ooh.
I mean, it's really difficult.
It's difficult because the movements are they're different areas of the court, but they're the same principle, which is fair enough for what Momin's saying. You know, it's a very similar situation. But yeah, there's just traffic here, and I think the best decision is here just to go for lets.
I'm not sure why that's a let.
I shouldn't have said that the decisions have been consistent, because I think we've had 3 very different decisions coming through, and I agree that was a pretty perfect, inch perfect drive down that side. You don't see that very often. I mean, his racket did get tangled there in his calf, but it's frustrating for Momin.
I don't think this is a let. It's not Momin's fault.
True.
There was a poor shot played by Goward. Momin took the opportunity, and
So you think he made his own, almost made his own interference there by getting the racket tangled?
yeah, I do.
It's a good rally there from Momin. He was on that like a shot. That's well tidied up for a moment. I mean, that's just such a strong area for a moment, is when he is able to use that short backswing and take such pace off the ball. This is better here from the number 1 seed.
I noticed then Goward still made a little bit of a line for Momin.
Oh yeah. Do you think there's a bit of movement there that's not being followed through to the direct line there?
I think the players are trying to utilise the space, that they're aware that the court is cold and they want to make the player travel the furthest as possible. So you'll see a lot of interference with these guys.
Yeah, try to make them use the longest route possible, make it harder for them.
Always, always. And even if the shot quality is good and the player just gives you a little nudge in the back.
Oh, that's clever. That's very nicely tidied up. Sorry to interrupt there. We've seen that quite a few times, that nice trickle drop shot at the front left. Yeah, I totally agree though that the movement there is not necessarily untoward. It's you can sense that it's feeling that they're trying to make their opponent work a lot harder, especially on these difficult conditions.
And the little nudges in the back place so much emphasis on the quality of the shot that the other player is playing that it all builds up.
Just getting a lot more traffic issues here in this 4th game.
I think this is a simple let. I don't think we need to overcomplicate it by any mark.
I agree. Oh, not sure what the issue here is there. I think that was probably just a safety let for me.
I would not have
You would
wanted
not-
Goward to
I
have
would
hit
not,
that.
no. There's an appeal. It looked like a nick.
It's a great shot.
Good reaction there for a moment. He really wants to get back into this match. And he's found himself with 4 game balls to take this into a 5th deciding game. Can Gawad make a response?
Just reads the ball so early.
Oh, that's clever. That is a taxi and a half. Such a difficult shot as well to show that, and it's such a simple technique is required to play that. You can't show too many options at the same time, but he manages to just fade it across the front wall. Just like that in a flash, two game balls have been saved. This is the accuracy that we were seeing in the first game from Gawad. Closing down the court really well here. But that is a response, and that is a reaction as well from Tarek Momin. You said you wanted this to go to the distance, and you've got exactly what you wanted.
Love it. We want to see the passion. We want to see the raw energy coming from these players.
The raw energy, that's exactly what we'll see, and that's what we just saw there from Momin. He loves this court. He's been on 4 or 5 finals since 2023, and you can see why he plays so well on this court.
I don't want to jinx it, but we're heading to my predictions here.
I know, I thought I was going to get mine. I was sort of secretly thinking that was going to be mine, but you're right, it's coming down to yours. Just shy of the 60-minute mark there. We're completely level here in Qatar. That game going Tarek Momin's way, 11-8 in just 12 minutes.
Play will resume in 60 seconds. Play will resume in 30 seconds.
Well, what a response here from the number 1 seed. Tarek Momin is not giving up anytime soon. And the pressure now is all on Gawad to respond. Because that was a great finish there as well in that fourth game, sorry, from Momin. Really showing a sign of intent of what he wants to do in this 5th game, I feel.
Well, Steve, you said you were bad at predictions.
Yeah, and I predicted that was correct because I've got it wrong.
Are you sticking with Gawad?
I'm going to still stick with Gawad, yep.
Be embarrassing not to now, wouldn't it?
Yeah, thanks. Oh, thanks very much. Tell me how you really feel.
Just looking at the scoreline of the last game and even the game before, the player that takes the lead at the start seems to be the player that's coming out on top. So definitely be looking to take a push forward in this first bit of the game.
100%, and you can see like the psychology between these two players. You've got Momin, who's getting really fired up, which does tend to suit him in his game and the ways he plays. He doesn't like to be subdued. Whereas Gawad is the complete opposite. He's so relaxed and almost feels like he's not even trying half the time.
Definitely seen elements of Gawad today getting a bit frustrated.
Mm-hmm. Well, whatever happens, it's heating up to be a pretty... Ooh. There's a lot of interference there. Again, I think it was... just traffic for me. I think don't need to overcomplicate some of these decisions.
The danger you have here with the previous game, giving a couple of lets that maybe didn't align with what we were expecting. Moment's probably got in his head that he needs to show that he's trying to get to that ball, so maybe came across a little bit aggressive, but
I mean, it's a great exchange at the top right there, but I think that was the correct decision there, just to play that as a safety. He could have absolutely drilled his opponent there, Gawad.
was there a bit of interference there again? Gawad just placing his hand on his chest a little bit.
Well, it's been quite a physical battle here, hasn't it, between these two players? The accuracy's getting better again here from Gawad, especially down the backhand side. Again, really trying to restrict Momin's range of shots that he can play. This is tough work here. Oh, that's perfect. That is vintage Gawad. That deceleration of the racket head just fades it onto the front wall so well. That's a bit more of what we were used to in that first and third game from Gawad.
It's hard to appreciate how difficult a shot like that is. The level of deceleration.
And to come in at that speed as well from the movement to completely stop. Very, very difficult for his opponent to read. Gawad is really keeping him on this backhand side. He wants to keep him deep into those back corners. And he sent him the wrong way. This is a chance for Moment.
It's a great ball.
Finish. Gawad's going to have no luck there, but that was a fantastic finish from Moment, and that was the perfect rally for him, wasn't it? Patience down the backhand side, and then carefully taking it into the front.
And you do not want Gawad taking too big of a lead here, because it's so difficult to come back.
Playing through that, that's a ripper of a boast. Not even the fastest player, one of the fastest players on the tour, could retrieve that one. 100% right though about Gawad getting that lead. He's such a dangerous player that can pick off points quickly, and you want to make sure that you always have that safety net between yourself and the points. That's a gift. It's a gift for Moment. Moment really needs to capitalize on these. He's not reading that, is he? Gawad's really trying to show that straight drive and play it as a cross court.
Well, he's made a bit of a comeback here.
Yeah, he's clearly sensed that danger, hasn't he, of letting this fifth game run away. He stepped up the tee, tried to force a few more errors. Again, it feels like a consistent decision. You know, they're almost identical. It's that quick movement, quick ask, like you mentioned, that's sort of giving the referee that instinct to give the no-lets there in those situations.
Frantic stuff.
And you can see Gawad's constantly trying to get him back onto that backhand side, really trying to pin him down those tight lines.
It's almost as though he's waiting for that cross court from Moment.
Mm-hmm. I don't think it was that bad. But I feel a sympathy here. I don't think that was a similar one, to be honest. I think that was a bit of a poor shot from Gawad. But that was quite funny, that demonstration.
Heat in the moment stuff, isn't it?
Well, yeah, he's getting frustrated by these decisions.
You just want him to go in and play that ball straight.
Yep.
Starting to see the frustration a little bit here.
And it's, I mean, like I said, it's like a duplicate of the first game, wasn't it? The games that Gawad have won have almost been identical in scorelines, 7-3, 7-2 around that area. He stretches out the rallies, he makes them tighter, forces mistakes from his opponent. And it's Momin that's getting frustrated, he's getting wound up.
I think when Momin's accuracy drops off a little bit, Gawad supersedes that.
Yep.
And it might feel...
Oh,
that's a great shot.
That's a stunning shot.
It might feel to the opposing player that there's interference, but Gawad's accuracy just means that it almost doesn't matter.
Yeah, you feel like Momin's really got to switch it on here and step up that intensity again. Even if it's not necessarily the most accurate squash, it needs to take time away from Gawad. That's tight work here for Momin. Again, neither player is happy with the decision. What were your decisions there? What was your thoughts?
I'm thinking.
I'll let you think.
I think the let is fine. I just think it's not adding anything.
No.
It's not directional in the sense of it's not encouraging the players to go back and get and retrieve the ball. It's also not a safety let.
Referee not even warranting a discussion here. I think Tarek is just really getting wound up about these constant decisions that are being played. But I do think the referee is being fairly consistent. Again, concentrating down this backhand side from Gawad. Patiently waiting for an opportunity to take it in short. It's a clever boast for a moment. That's the first reaction we've seen from Gawad in this final. It's getting close to the finish line.
I'm not sure Momin could do much with that ball.
No, it was left in no man's land there.
And these asks as well, when Momin knows that he probably couldn't do a lot with that ball, doesn't help the case with the referee.
No, you mentioned it's spot on. You know, it's the quick ask. It's almost too quick to ask. You need to show that there's an effort being made. But Gawad's accuracy has just stepped up another level. It's exactly the same as what happened. Exactly the same for first game and third game. 11-4 potentially. 6 match balls here for... Oh, what a get! He's on the run here. That is an unbelievable finish from Kareem Abdel Gawad. I don't know how he's managed to straighten that.
What a line.
I mean, what a way to finish. That was a stunning performance there from Kareem Abdel Gawad. Huge battle there from Tarek Momin. He did an amazing job there to get back into the fifth. 72 minutes of squash. High quality stuff from start to finish. And look at that. Exact replicates for each game that Kareem Abdel Gawad won. 11-4, 11-4. 11-4.
Oh yeah.
Fantastic performance here from Kareem Abdul-Gawad to take the number 1 seed out on a court that he's normally pretty much guaranteed to win it, given his record. But it's Gawad that pulled out a fantastic performance to take this match 3-2 in 72 minutes. There we go, seeing that point ticker there. Again, a very similar trajectory from what happened in the first and the third. Getting that big lead, almost feeling that Moman couldn't quite recover from those positions. And it was all about the accuracy, it was all about the tightness down the backhand side particularly, and just waiting for those opportunities to take it in short. And there's confirmation of the result. Kareem Abdel-Gawad, the number 2 seed from Egypt, is the champion here in Qatar. He wins the QSF 2 2025. Well, I've had a great time watching this high quality match. It's been great to be here commentating on this match with Laurie Roberts here. I hope you've enjoyed it as well.
It's been a really good match to watch for sure. Unfortunately for Tarek, he just didn't have enough to push Gawad at the very end there. But we cannot fault how well Gawad played today.
No, he played a fantastic performance, and he's a deserved champion of this match and this event here in Qatar. Still plenty more squash to be seen on SquashTV. The Canadian Men's Open final tonight at 6 p.m. local time in Calgary. Make sure you tune into that. And then later on in the next week, we've got the New Zealand Open kicking off. So be sure to get tuned in for those matches. There should be some great matches lining up. Well, thanks for watching this final of the Doha Qatar QSF 2 2025. Join us again soon for some more squash action.
Cover.